Yes, definitely. There is a lot of things going on, but there is a difference. As I mentioned in the beginning, there is a difference between the larger amounts, the larger deals, and in Brussels, in Belgium, there are less larger deals, and there the financing for medium, and also in the Netherlands, medium-sized assets is much more harder to find, and that's why today we are looking to alternatives. And it could be different. Indeed, institutional investors, like pension funds, insurance companies, are quite important, but definitely also family businesses. Don't forget the family business. They are organized much better than before, and they are not always investing through listed real estate, but also they like to have direct investments. That's definitely what we see as a trend. But there are also a lot of, if you look to regional or urban developments, you look to incentives from Europe on the structural funds, on EIB. So you have different alternatives on financing, and even crowd financing is coming up. Not saying if it's what's the legal aspects on that, on the IFMD and so on the financial consciousness on that. So there is definitely a lot of alternative investment and alternative financing looking at different times.
Okay, good, thank you. Yes, David, yeah, do.
If I can just add a word on that, because we've been doing advisory work on financing in this part of the world. And it is one of the, I would say it's one of the major problems today, and it's part of the smaller country syndrome. Most of the traditional banks have now reverted to domestic markets. We were working last year on a refinancing down in Luxembourg, and addressing banks from different parts to see whether we could interest them in the portfolio we were working on. And after many conversations, I had one with a banker who said to me, well, the good news is I've got a 12-page offer in front of me for your deal. And the bad news is that my advisory board last week decided that we should not invest, we should not be doing financing outside our own country, so I can't send it to you. And you know, it's a problem we come up against constantly, and I think it is holding back the markets considerably here in Belgium. And interestingly, you know, when there is a big project, then I think you get the attentions of the international market. The same on the investment front. I know we're talking about banking, but on the investment front, I had a call the other day from someone, and in fact I've had more than one call, looking at a major investment which is for sale, which I have my own views about, which I don't need to go into. But when I said, you know, nonetheless, what about the market in general? And they said, oh no, we're only interested because there's this big opportunity. We're not interested if it's smaller. And that's a problem you come up against very regularly here in this market. So until the situation changes, and I think it will, because with all these alternative finance sources that are coming into being, the insurance companies and so on, of course, in the first instance, they're going to take the pick of the big deals in the countries they like most, and with loan to values which are very well secured. But I've already heard some of them saying, well, we thought we were going to be able to do a lot of financing in Germany, but gosh, it's a difficult market to get into. A lot of banks competing, and to which I always say, well, come to Belgium. Indeed, I had another conversation with one of the new financiers who's come onto the European scene recently, and the conversation was going very well because we were discussing all their criteria, and they all seemed to tick the box with what I wanted to talk about. And when I got to the nub of what I wanted to say, he said, well, it sounds very interesting, but we're only a small team, and we've decided to focus on the UK and Germany, and even if it is a good opportunity, it would take us too long to go through our internal regulatory approvals process to look at another country at the moment. And it happens again, time and again, because I don't see the scope of opportunity in the smaller countries, and that's not just Belgium, but other smaller countries within Europe.